Okay, hello everyone. Let's wait for a few more minutes. The live is yet to be started in 1 minute, but let's go ahead and check. People who are already in live, could you please confirm if you can hear me properly? So the live chat is enabled, so everyone can go ahead and bring in your questions. Okay, hi, hello everyone. Welcome to today's live. Well, before going to live, let me wish you all a very happy Independence Day. And what else? What should we have today? So the questions that we are going to discuss I are already mentioned in the description. Along with that, we will also have few more questions that we will discuss. But if you have any other questions that should be answered or that you think should be answered, go ahead. Oh, this particular theme seems to be pretty good. Let's okay. This is not good. Okay, this is fine. Checking out with the options. That's it. So people who are in live, hello. Just say hi so that I can get to know. And also let's go with the questions that we need to answer. Okay, so here is one question from Kishore stating that, hi Vajrang, I have one use case. There are already integrated, okay, one use case. They are already integrated multiple applications, SailPoint, ServiceNow and Ariba. Now I have to handle the bot should not crash. Okay, bot should not crash. That's the question. Hi Ramya. Okay, Ramya Rajan Sahu. Hi Ramya Rajan Sahu. Let's go. Now, what is the solution? Can you suggest? But complex, but have to do. Okay. Now, checking with multiple applications. See the problem you will face or we will face when we are having more than 4 applications or 5 applications. The best scenarios to automate is not to have more than 5 applications. Either it can be Excel application that you need to talk to, or Outlook application, because those also need to be integrated while we are working with UiPath. Now checking with all, I'm seeing that you have SailPoint, ServiceNow and Ariba. You have only 3 applications. How you need to make sure that the bot don't crash? Check with the APIs. APIs are the best thing to do because they will not have front end and they can give you direct messages over HTTP request. And if you are able to do API calls to all these applications, that's very good. If you are not able to do, check, because we already have ServiceNow activities available in the UiPath marketplace. You can download them and check them. But other applications, I'm not sure if they already have UiPath enabled APIs. Pawan Sai says, hi Pawan, can you please talk something about webhooks? If you have already uploaded any video, please share. No, Ranjan, I'll talk about webhooks. Please let me know, or while we are closing with these questions, let me know with the details so that we can continue. So as Kishore, as I have said, how you need to make sure that bots don't crash, make sure that there is proper delay time, and even the deployment also matters. When we are checking with the bot deployment, we need to make sure what is the peak time that the bot, or peak utilization of the bot, and do we have enough resources, do we have enough RAM, and do we have enough data to support the utilization that we are proposing. So that's what exactly we need to check. But also we need to check the logs, how and why exactly is the bot failing? Is the bot failing because of the application exception or anything? That we need to check. Hi Naresh. So I think you can ping me personally to check with that out. Maybe we just need to see how you configure the robot. But yes, if you just have the questions, or if you just have the bot continuously failing, you just need to see the logs first. That's how you need to check and validate. Okay, before taking with the next question, let's go with Rohan and Ranjan's questions here. Hi Vajrang, I have a situation where I have to store 3 strings and a list of string inside a single queue item. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. The best way to store list of items is to have it in a separated comma separated values. See how you need to store 3 strings. You can directly pass them using keys, key value, key 1 and the string 1, key 2, string 2, key 3, string 3. But if you want to send a list of items, I don't see a way how you can directly go ahead and add it. But I think you can go ahead and add a JSON directly in the specific content. But if you are not able to do, what I suggest you to do is add the values using comma separated values. Make a string. Now when you are getting back the data, check with the key and divide that particular string into using slash or any delimiter. I think that will solve your problem. It's a simple logical operation that we need to do, but you will have a solution with that. Okay, can you please talk something about webhooks if you have already uploaded? Okay, I didn't speak anything about webhooks. Like, I can explain you what exactly a webhook is within this time. Okay, what exactly is a webhook? When we say webhook, think it like okay, so when I hosted this live, I sent a message to everyone who are already subscribed that okay, I will be live on this particular point of time. Now when I posted this, webhook is a like small piece of code which checks my activity, sends my live to all the users who are watching, or intimates all the users who are watching who are already subscribed, or pushes them into live. One more example that I can say is, let's assume that you have already configured a webhook API. Again, webhook API is just an API call, which actually the application does whenever an event happens. For example, again coming back to UiPath and the orchestrator, let's say that there is a queue item that's added. So business actually says that okay, now you have added one item into the queue. What we want is okay, go ahead, whenever a new item is added, go ahead and log it somewhere. If you are able to do that, how you need to do? When you will know that a queue is added, you cannot continuously monitor onto the orchestrator because it will consume your resources. What exactly you can do is, you can have a HTTP service available, and that URL can be posted in or can be placed in webhooks of the orchestrator. So if you go into the tenant on the right side top in the settings, below the settings you will see an option called webhook. Click on that and check there will be an URL that will be asked by the orchestrator. Now there you need to just provide the URL. So when you provide the URL, it will send you continuously whenever there is a request. That you can check. I think that should be the one way how you can do it. But again, so this is like a messaging request, which whenever there is an event happens, that at that particular time send a request to some other application. That's how you can understand a webhook is. Even your WhatsApp is also based on webhook, because whenever someone sends you, it distributes to to your mobile. So that's how it also works. Okay, now we have, I think Rohan, I have answered your question. Ranjan, I have answered your question. Go ahead and post more questions. Pawan Sai, Vajrang, can we extract data from multiple PDFs? Each PDF has its own structure, which is not fixed. PDF includes tables, and sometimes it's scan PDF, and advantage if we use an external script. When we are using with an external script, we don't have any control of how we can configure or how we can customize the script. That's point one. Can we use it? with respect to RPA and with respect to robotic process automation, what we could say is, see, we are automating something that is specifically standard, or we can say that okay, this is what we will have and it will not change for a specific time. Now when we are saying that it will continuously change, that means that it's not automatable. What you could ideally do is take one or two items or one or two formats and try to automate on that particular format and check whether it's working or not. But if you are not able to do that, what we can also check with is we have UiPath document understanding check, but it will have a studio as well as a validation station. Now whenever you have some data, you will have a validation station to manually check, okay, I have extracted this data. So what actually happens is you need not extract all the data. Robot or UiPath will get the data for you. You just need to validate using the validation station. I think that's the method you follow. But if you just want to get the data and store it somewhere without checking whether that is particular structure or if it is not structured, you can directly use get PDF activities. That's a simple thing. Okay, Rohan again asks how to decide if we need to implement a queue or not. Okay, so here it is. How should we decide if we have a queue or not? Okay, now there are 10 items. Now in the 10 items, how will you decide which item to be taken by a bot? Okay, that's one. And can you schedule it, which item to be processed and when it should be processed? And also, can you maintain a log of what the items are available and how they should be aligned? For example, this part we have 10 items, but 10th item should be processed with high priority, so you can settle with process high priority. So when we are using orchestrator queues, we will have a flexibility to have everything or to have whatever the bots need to process. It need not be only one robot, it can be multiple robots. So whatever the bot need to process, it can have it in a single place. Now when we have that in a single place, let's say that there are 10 robots that are continuously accessing one particular queue. Now all the queue items should not be given to all the robots. One robot should have only one item. So this is one more example. To divide the items to different robots, we will use queues, and to maintain the priority, we will use queues. And also a queue can be used to store the specific data point. For example, I have the reports to be generated for HR and I also have the reports to be generated for business, or you can say IT. Now when we have these particular departments, we can have two different queues where two different queues will have two different items, and when we are picking up or when the bot is picking up, you just need to pull in the data directly from that queue and you can process it. Think it as a theater where we are going into a movie theater and picking up or getting the ticket. As simple as it. It's not online booking. Again, it's like you go to the theater and get a ticket and then come back. The next person will go ahead and pick it. That's how you can easily think of an orchestrator queue is. Ranjan says, cool, thanks for the brief. In future, if possible, could please upload one video on UiPath webhooks. Yes, Ranjan, I am sure I will upload one video where I am discussing about UiPath webhooks. Maybe I'll do it today. Keep checking my channel. Okay, so before I go to the next question, I do hope that you definitely like my my channel. Go ahead and subscribe to UiPath by Vajrangtalks, and also I would like to give you one of the video that I posted recently, that is with orchestrator, how we need to check with the orchestrator what are high density, how do we need to divide the orchestrator into multiple domains, or okay, just go ahead and check how exactly the infrastructure should be set up. There is a tech talk that is already posted. Go ahead and check it out within my channel. And let's go with the next question. How to test, how the test option in UiPath useful is something like development of model we can use for testing. Okay, so Ranjan, we have a complete playlist on testing which completely explains on how you need to test, what need to be tested. so that you can go ahead and check. Go to the channel and check for within my channel, check for UiPath testing. There is test suite. There is a specific playlist for it. There are around 12 to 15 videos. You can go ahead and check them. Well, testing is, again, since the name itself says that it is for testing purposes, you have specific activities on how you test and what you test. And there are 3 different specific activities, and how you also need to connect to orchestrator to maintain test cases, even that's mentioned in that particular playlist. Go ahead and check it out. It will be very useful for you if you are into a testing background. Mopur says how to handle a bot from crashing when applications are integrated workflows. Okay, again, I think Mopur, I have already answered that question in the beginning of the vlog, or else what I can say is, okay, let me check how you can do that. See, the best thing is don't have more than 5 applications, any applications, the best point, because if you have too many applications, it will be hard for a robot even to handle them. But if you want to have multiple applications to run, divide the process. Divide the process such that one process does 2 applications and the other process does the remaining 2 applications. If you can do that, that will be the best option, because you are dividing the work anyway. So when you are dividing the work, you can definitely have 2 processes, and one process will handle 2 applications and the other process will handle different 2 applications. But if you are saying that, okay, I don't want to do this, I want to have everything in one application or one process, all you need to check is how you are maintaining the logs, because logging plays a very crucial role in this particular point. Because if you don't have proper logging, we will not be able to know if that particular robot failed in what application. That you cannot definitely know. You don't know where exactly and how exactly you need to target. So go ahead and check with that. So logging is one of the important point. And keep to or try to maintain everything in the orchestrator, because that's where you will have all the logs stored in. Though you have things in your local machine, that's fine. You also need to maintain a separate report. Like you need to deploy a report with Excel stating that, okay, this is the ID that I'm working on, this is the status, and this is the end time and execution time. That you need to definitely do it. Go ahead and check it. If you don't know how to do that, ping me up. Ping me up in my WhatsApp 964229492. Okay, let's go with other questions. So since we don't have other questions, let's go. Okay, people who just came live, go ahead and post your questions. Umubur, I think I have answered your question. Let's go with some of the questions that I have initially posted in the description, so that we can complete them as well. Okay. Okay. We have Kiran asking a small doubt by like how they are going to test bots after development. I mean, like strategy to follow to test cases, how to identify the bugs, how to identify in production environment. Any idea if in your channel or podcast is great help. So to test the robot, I think many of us did not recognize that there is a folder called test in our RE framework. Now what exactly the test folder does is, we can have a list of items that are to be tested, like a workflows that are to be tested. Use that. I think I can make some video on that. Okay, let's continue. So I can make a video on that, so that we can know what exactly the test folder is. But I think most of us, even all the YouTube community, did not mention much about the testing folder exactly and how to use it. I think we can do a video on that. I will post you soon. Okay, Sarunan says explain UiPath Elasticsearch license of UiPath. Okay, so with respect to license, I would like to say, Saruna, licensing with UiPath is very distributed, I can say. You will have attended license, unattended license, you will have robot licenses. In that robot license, you will have multiple types of licenses, and with respect to studio, you have multiple licenses. There is standalone license that's there, and there is dynamic allocation of licenses. There is license that's provided with the orchestrator. So it's a huge subject. Simply saying how you need to divide that. If you are in development, take with studio license. If you are running the bot only with the robot, there need not be any license of the studio, then check with the robot license. Either it can be attended or unattended mode. So even when attended or unattended mode, there are since we are saying with 2 types, The cost for attended is a bit less than the cost for unattended bot that you need to check. Now with the sales team, because the prices actually varies. I cannot commit on okay, this is the price that you can get, but it will be a huge. But an organization is the one that should actually go ahead and check how exactly we need to check, or we need to see if that is properly available, or are we going to get the ROI back. Think it like this: if you are giving 10 lakhs of salary to a person, if the same thing can be replaced, or if the same work can be done by a robot with 5 lakhs of investment, I think that's already a 50% of gain that we are checking with respect to financial. Okay, along with that we will have the time that's saved, and the errors that can be handled by the bot. I think there is a huge leap over there. You just need to understand how exactly are we going to purchase the licenses. So Elasticsearch, with respect to Elasticsearch, if you ask me, now Elasticsearch, as far I know, it used to store all the logs, and it used to, or it will help us in getting all the keywords searched within the particular logs that we have, and we can get to some conclusion based on the logs that we have. Well, can we use that in the orchestrator? Yes, we can do that, but the way how the logs are stored in Elasticsearch is completely different. But in Elasticsearch, what you could also do is you can attach Kibana dashboard, where Elasticsearch and Kibana dashboard come in contact using API calls, and or data can be transferred, and you can also extract dashboards from the Kibana dashboard. So that's how. But again, if you want to say specifically about Elasticsearch, I think you need to go ahead and check with the logs, or you need to check with the posts that are given by UiPath and the demos. But yes, let's go with the next. If I store a list of string to the queue, it will be converted to string, or the data type will be preserved. Thanks in advance, Rohan asks. I specifically didn't check with that because I normally use all the queue items, but to my understanding, it should be changed to, or it will be stored as a queue item. But the only thing that I am checking here is, see, whenever we are using an orchestrator using specific content, at the end we will write like a key name dot specific content, or specific content dot, in the brackets you will give the key, and you will at the end keep toString. So I'm just checking how exactly are we going to do that. I think Mopur, we can connect, or Rohan, we can connect offline and just give me a message. We can work on this. I think we can definitely work on this. But to my understanding, if you want to convert that into string, and if you need to update, as I have mentioned earlier, take a list using a string builder, add all the list items using comma separator values, add them in the orchestrator. When you are getting back, get the values and split them again using semicolon or whatever the delimiter that you have. I think I have answered your question. Saruna, licensing, I think I have explained, but Elasticsearch is a vast topic that we need to go ahead and check. Hope I answered to the extent that I can. But let's go with the next question. Okay, again, I think we missed this. How to identify the bugs, how to identify the production. Okay, we are talking. Okay. See, this is what will happen if I'm doing something live. My mobile fell just now. Okay. Let's continue. Let's give me 2 minutes. I'll try to keep my mobile back in shape. Pray for my mobile, guys. Obviously, it's helping me. Okay. I hope you can see me back. Let's go with identifying bugs and how should we do that in the production. Well, again, logging comes to a great help with this. And how to identify bugs in the production? Well, when we are checking with the production, you obviously need to have an email that should be triggered whenever there is an error, or somewhere where you are continuously monitoring. Either if there is an orchestrator administrator, he can directly get the notification over a pop-up of the error that happened. that you need to check it out. And if you don't have an administrator, all you need to do is specifically maintain or specifically check how the error logs are being maintained, because whenever there is an exception, it will be either a system exception or a business rule exception. Saruna says that, okay, can you put some video reading Kibana dashboard? Oh, I think I need to purchase some licenses. Yes, we can do that. Let's check. Sarana, please contact me in my WhatsApp. So I think if you have some details, we can go ahead and collaborate on that as well. Let's make a video together. And checking back with how to identify bugs. How exactly do we identify bugs? Any data, or what we can say is any functionality that works out of a scope is a bug. That's what I can say. If it is not in line with the scope, that's a bug. Go ahead and change that. And how should you debug the ones? Okay, there is a life cycle that we exactly need to follow. Can you put, okay, Saruna says, is that I didn't get that. Please send you a message back. Yeah, that works by adding to string again may affect the optimization. Yes, Rohan says it will affect the optimization. Yes, it will affect the optimization, but we also need to check the workaround, because at the end of like as a specific content we are giving the queue item, we'll also give .toString. Maybe I think I may be wrong. Maybe we'll need to use it as .toList. I think that can help. Go ahead and check it out. Okay, with the licensing or okay, with the life cycle of the product, or if the life cycle of the development, what we could exactly say is, okay, see, there are, now from the beginning I've said that we should have 3 different environments. One environment for development, the second environment for testing, and do we have a production environment? Not specifically while developing, but when we are moving, or when we are moved into testing environment, we just need to move it into production. So at that point of time we can think of production. But if there are any issues within the production, how you need to change, I think the best way to do is, if that particular, if only one item or one transaction item is throwing an error, let the bot continue, let it throw error, but inform the business, know that this is throwing an error, we are working on that, and come back to your development and check why this particular item is not working or how that can be resolved. Once that's done, maybe you can stop adding that particular item type to queues, so that you will not get more errors. But next you can go ahead and check with the development, testing and production. Okay, Aparna asks how to copy the dashboard from Excel, and paste it in the email body. Okay, Aparna, so here is what I can say. If you want to copy a dashboard, I think there should be an object that should be extracted. What I would suggest you to do is, there is an option called screenshot, and using that screenshot you can take a screenshot of that particular dashboard and save it as an image. When you save it as an image, you can directly add as an attachment over your email body. With respect to email body, yes, there are some workarounds while working with the body. What you could do is add that particular image in one Word document, and then add or read that Word document completely and add it. There are workarounds, Aparna, but if you just want to add a dashboard, the best thing that I would say is go ahead, take a screenshot, attach that file into the email. But checking with the email body, there are workarounds. Please drop it in the comments after this video, so that we can go ahead and check with that as well. Well, there are excellent questions that are coming in. Rohan, cool, thanks, I will try that. By the way, I will be annoying you in all the live sessions. I think I am doing this for you, Rohan. That should be fine. So let's go with monitoring robots. Okay, I think I have answered. Okay, there are few questions that I have already answered in my previous live chat or previous live, but not sure if you have already observed it. Let's go and quickly see what exactly it is. How to monitor robots, jobs, orchestrator queues and logs. multiple topics, one topic at a time. Monitor robots directly from the orchestrator. You can go ahead and monitor the robots. Next, jobs, again from the orchestrator. Queues, orchestrator. Logs, three places: local, in local environment, in the orchestrator queues, and also in the jobs. You can have it in three different places to check with the logs. Do I have to check the dashboards or orchestrator, or do something else for monitoring? Yes, of course you need to check orchestrator dashboard to check. But the other option that you can also do is send in an email whenever there is an exception, or whenever there is or post a message in the Teams channel. I think that's what you have. If you have a dynamic Office 365, you can utilize that Office 365 and you can post a message. That's one of the way. Next, if a process runs daily on a VM or VDI or local machine, should I monitor the robots daily? If they are highly impacted processes, go ahead and monitor them daily, or else you should have a monthly report that should be generating by the robot again, and it should send on automatically. Okay, and I think Aparna, we have an answer from Rajan. Just go ahead and check it. Okay, now check in if a process runs daily on a VM. I think I have answered this question. How to deep analysis of failed robots in the queues? Again, check with the logs, check where exactly the bot failed. And the best way is, if there is a system exception, have a screenshot of when exactly the bot failed. If it is a business exception, since we already know, but make a proper logging. See, the most problem that I see while developing the robots is we don't give a proper logging here, or we don't mention. For example, bot failed at this particular screen, like bot failed to write input username, but we don't specifically say where exactly it is. Having that customized message will definitely help you guys, trust me, and this will definitely help you when you are having business rule exceptions, if you don't properly log them, because business is the one who actually checks them, all the business rule exceptions, stating that okay, this is failed. But system exceptions should be handled by someone who is monitoring the robots technically, that you need to check. Also, business should be aware of it. How to check logs and what to do after checking logs? Again, check logs to identify how many processes are successful and failure. But in the orchestrator, we also have an option in the dashboard to check how many are failed or successful. What exactly to do if they are failed? Go back, inform the business first that these are failing, and come back to development and create some specific environment how the bot is failing, and then you can move to testing and then deployment. That's simple. But again, the process is a lengthy process, so you just need to configure, or how you just need to find out how exactly you are going to do that. But if you are asking it for an interview question, this is what you can answer. Okay, how to check? Okay, if I have scheduled a job on VDI, it gives an error, then what steps should I take to resolve it? If you have a job scheduled on a VDI, if it errors, then find why it got an error. Either the robot is not available for the bot to process on it, or that particular job to process. That's one of the option. If that is the option, check why the robot is not available. But the job, when it is in pending state, it will be waiting for a robot to take for around 12 hours. I think once it's after 12 hours, it will go into an error state, or it will go into a fail state. Go ahead and check it out. But obviously, when you are working on the VDIs, the most error that I faced is with the login of the VDI, because sometimes the passwords get expired, so uipath robot is unable to log in. That's one. Then the robot actually locks the machine, and we will not be able to log in for the next half an hour according to the policies that are set by the organization. That you need to check it out. Excellent. Now let's go with two different topics, very important: high density robots as well as modern folders specifically now. But let's check with the comments now. Okay, where can I get the information about SharePoint and ServiceNow APIs? They are already available in the UiPath marketplace. Go ahead and check them. You can directly check for ServiceNow and you can get the details. Or if you want to have the API calls directly, you can write your own code. That's what you can do. Can you write? Okay, so Ranjan answers to Aparna's question, how can you add image? So you can write HTML code, image, src, and attach it in the file, provide the full file path, and that will work to send email body. So Rajan, if you can post a sample file, or if you can send me a sample file of how you did it, maybe I can help more. But I do have a different approach that I can explain you later. Okay, I was writing to a trigger bot using Power Automate that I have already done. Okay, is there any specific URL to access API and keys from Community Edition? Okay, how you need to work with Power Automate and uipath orchestrator? See, first thing is, when you are working with a URL, when if a bot need to start automatically, it should be in unattended mode or unattended license. Till then it will not start. That's point number one. Second, how you need to get the access for the API calls. When you log into orchestrator, you have a tenant, and in that tenant there will be a drop down. That's latest change, and there you can have web API access, and you can go ahead and check with the access keys as well as orchestrator URL and all the keys that you have. You can go ahead and check it. Well, there is also a video where there is a live recording, actually live coding session, which I have done to start a robot on Microsoft form submission. Go ahead and check it out. There is a separate playlist for that. Go ahead and check it out. Maybe I can paste the link after this call. Just post me a message. I think that should be fine. Okay, okay, next one is Ranjan Vajrang. Okay, please get my name correctly, or it's Vajrang. Okay, fine. Ranjan, please look into my last question. You missed it. What is the best way to handle random pop-up? While I tried with parallel, but is there any best way? Okay, now you need to specifically check where exactly that particular random pop-up is coming. Is it coming while starting the application or while ending the application? Where exactly is it available? Now you cannot write a loop for every, or you cannot write a loop for each and every activity that you place, like type into okay check with the pop-up. You cannot have like that. But if there is specific error that's coming out like that, I think there is no workaround as of now that I have found. You just need to go ahead. But if there are only 2 inputs, that's fine. But if there are multiple, then it's frustrating. You have already tried with parallel activity. Why don't you try with element exist and check whether that particular item is available or not? Maybe that can help you. Keep element exist as a separate workflow, and how to handle it as keep that specific block as a separate workflow. Invoke that whenever possible, and don't give it too much time. Just give 1 second so that it executes and gives out you a result. I think that should help. But again, it's a frustrating task. I do agree to that. Now, do we have any other questions? Yes, I said attended robot and unattended robot. Say real-time example. Attended robot are the robots that works when you are working on the same machine. Okay, John Cooter asks me what is the better way to use regex or string method. Obviously regex, because you will have multiple options. But if it is very simple manipulation like replacing a particular string and to go to the next item, why do you want to go to regex? You can go to the string.replace. If there are already string methods available, go with the string methods. I don't say no to that. But if you cannot do with the string methods, go ahead with the regex method. That's how you can solve it. First string and then the regex. John Cooter, I think I have answered your question. Okay guys, please post questions. I'll be answering them continuously. Now next question we would like to see is attended robot and unattended robot, say real-time scenario. Okay, now we have a question from Ranjan. Okay, we have someone, okay, Sarunan asking how to use or how to start a robot from unattended robot, or sorry, how to start a robot automatically. Now here it is. When we already have unattended robot license, then it will start automatically. But what is the use? It doesn't require a human intervention, or it doesn't require a human click, or it need not be started by a human. First important thing, it need not be started by a human, and also it need not have any human intervention in between. The second type of license is the attended license. What is the difference is it can either start from a human click or a human trigger, or it can start from an orchestrator, but it need to have a input from the human. For example, a captcha. Now when we enter the username and password, there will be a captcha. Now a bot can wait till the captcha is got or till the captcha is done, and you can post a message, okay, continue. That's the button you can keep. So this is an attended robot. Now along with this, what exactly can we say is, let's say that there are let's go into what we can say, some place or call center is the best example here. Now a call center data will have data in multiple applications, but whenever someone calls, all the data should be accumulated and pasted in one particular spreadsheet. Okay, now for a person to do it, it takes more time. But whenever there is a call, and it cannot be done automatically, for saying that, because there should be some data input that should be added. So in that particular case, we need to have attended robot, where a robot works alongside with the human. That's how you can differentiate. Aparna asks again, how to handle 10 lakhs records in the Excel. Why do you have 10 lakh records? Okay, if you have 10 lakh records, I do have an activity that is published that is called chunk data table. What chunk data table will exactly do is, it will get all the table and it will divide it into chunks. For example, out of 10 lakh records, you need to first process 1000 records, then process the next 1000 records, then process the next 1000 records. You cannot have everything in the memory. What you could do is first read all the memory and divide it into chunks, and then work on that particular chunk or that particular 1000 items, and then write it back. I think that's what we can have. But check, why are we using with 10 lakh records? If we can write some macro for it, that can be written, it can directly work in a better way, because it works along with Excel application and it works in the background. I think that's what you need to try, and you can trigger the bot or trigger the macro from uipath. I think that's the best option you need to try, not directly working on the 10 lakh records at the same time. Okay, have the